Let's start in a seat. And let's do a cross-legged seat if you can. If not, being up on shins is fine. Close your eyes, rest your hands down. We'll just take a couple moments to center ourselves. Turn inside and bring your awareness to your breath. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Shoulders soften down away from ears. Hold your palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Inhale, breath. Exhale. Good. Open the eyes and just stay right where you're at. Walk your hands forward. Sits bones back, and pelvis is heavy, rooted down into the floor. Soft neck, heavy head. Beautiful. Walk your hands up. Switch the cross of the legs. You can always be sitting up on a blanket. Take your hands next to your hips. Lift your hips up and take your sits bones back. Walk your hands forward. Come down to your forearms if you can, or walk your hands out. You can be on your finger pads. Let your gaze soften down. Good. Walk hands back, uncross legs, and come to downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, claw your mat with your finger pads so that your palms lift. And then make sure that your dog is long enough that you're able to lift up your tailbone and slowly soften your heels down toward your mat. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Little steps or big step to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Legs need to be straight to get the hamstring opening. That's what we want. So if you need to walk your hands forward to straighten the legs or put them on blocks, please adjust. Good. Walk your hands up your legs. Come to Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Lengthen up through the sides of your body. And then sway to the right. Hips go to the left. Come back through center. Switch the grip. And sway left. Come back through center, take the gaze up, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold. Walk your hands forward, look ahead. And step your right foot back. Back knee comes down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands come down, step back, plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, come down to your belly for this first one. Untuck toes, legs wider than you think they need to go. Lift armpits toward ears, head to arm bones, draw away from your floor. Come up to cobra, a little bend in the elbows. They can be out wide. Take your gaze right. Come forward. Okay, take your gaze left. Good. Come on back down. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward on an inhale, back knee down. Reach arms up, big breath in. And exhale, hands come down, lift back knee, back thigh, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Walk hands forward, long spine, look ahead. And then step your left foot back first, back knee comes down, inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, hands come down, plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, knees down all the way to the belly. Good, low cobra, come on up. And downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward on an inhale, back knee down, reach arms up, big breath. And exhale, hands down, lift back knee, back thigh, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Root down into your feet. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, hinge at hips, fold. Walk hands forward, long spine, extend through your crown. Step your right foot back, back knee comes down. Heel toe your front foot out to the long edge of your mat and take 2 blocks inside your front foot and then take the blocks to a diagonal. So your hands are on the block, you're bending your front knee, and notice that my back, like the hip, is not stacked over the knee. You want to get the front of the hip stretched, so you need to dip your pelvis down. Bring your hands to blocks, elbows go wide, turn your belly to the right and soften your heart. Look down. Good. And then take your hands off the block. Keep your right hand rooted on your mat, left hand to the left knee. You can press it away, come to the knife edge of the left foot. Maybe take the gaze back. Everything comes back to the starting point. Lift back knee, back thigh, little step and big step, top of the mat, forward fold. Other side, left foot steps back, back knee comes down. Take both hands inside your front foot. You can open the foot or actually move heel to the foot to the right edge of your mat. Take your blocks at an angle toward the left corner of your mat. Bend your elbows wide, soften your heart down. Back knee scoots back. Big bend in your front knee. Good. And then left hand inside left foot, right hand, right knee. You can press it away. Dip the left hip down as you twist, look back. And then both hands down, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Heel toe your feet out as wide as your mat. Toes will face out a diagonal, heels in, knees bend nice and wide, Malasana squat. My heels are down, but yours might be lifted. Take your elbows and press the knees back. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, booty up, heel toe feet, back to hip width distance apart, forward fold. Good. Walk your hands to plank. Tailbone carves toward heels. You should feel the abdominal muscles light up when that happens. Grip your mat with your finger pads, palms lift. And then lengthen the side body by drawing the armpits up toward the ears. Melt your heart and scapula firm on your back. Maintain the strength that you've created in the shoulders and take your down dog. Strong, straight arms. Right foot steps forward. On an inhale, back heel comes down. Down dog lunge. So down dog and side angle pose, have a baby. You walk your hands off of your mat to the left, come to the finger pads. And then booty swings back, right sits bones carve under, melt heart down. Walk your hands to the front foot, right hand outside of the right foot, maybe to a block, left hand, left hip, straighten your front leg, Trikonasana. Now take your front foot, turn it out just a touch. We want external rotation on the front leg, and we want to open up the hammies. So straight leg, left arm up, scapula come toward each other on your back, gaze up. Pressing down into your big toe mound to lift the fourth and fifth toe. That will hug shins in toward the midline. And that's what we need for these arm balances, is everything hugging inward. Good. And then left hand, left hip. Take your gaze forward about 10 inches in front of your front foot. Step your back foot up a little bit. Half moon, so hand can come to a block or your mat. Left arm reaches up. If you feel achiness in your standing leg, really tack the right sits bone toward your tailbone. Make sure your gaze is set, your drishti. Left arm reaches up. Left leg lifts up and kicks forward about 6 inches. Engage your right glutes. Good, elongate through your lifted leg. Come back, warrior two. And straighten your front leg, turn the toes in, hands at hips, hinge at hips. You can walk your hands through your legs, bend your elbows, or grab the outside of your ankles, bend elbows, and pull down through the crown of your head. Lift the scapula toward your tailbone and breathe. Good. And then take your hands out in front of you, and you're going to turn to the back of your mat. This is the perfect combination of down dog and side angle. Booty sweeps back, heart melts down. Maybe you're on the finger pads. Left sits bone tucks under your left hip. And then walk your hands to the foot. Left hand stays outside of left foot. Right hand, right hip, straighten front leg, and right arm reaches up. Trikonasana triangle, gaze up or down. You can take the left foot and turn it out to the left a touch, external rotation in the front leg. Breathe. Good. Right hand, right hip. Gaze down and forward about 10 inches. Bend your front knee. Step your back foot up a little bit. Half moon. Maybe the right arm reaches up. Don't let the left hip sway out to the left. Engage your glutes by taking the left sits bone toward your tailbone or even toward your lifted heel, and then kick your right leg forward a touch. Good. Gaze up or down. Right hand, right hip, a little bend in the standing knee. Step all the way back, warrior two. Straighten the leg, turn the toes in, and then hands to hips, hinge, heart forward. Walk your hands out in front of you, left hand stays rooted, right hand, right hip. Let your left hip come toward the right. As you twist open to the right, right arm reaches high. Gaze up or down or straight ahead. Right hand comes down, switch sides. Left hand, left hip. Right hip might lead the twist as your left arm comes up. Good. And then left hand comes down. Walk your hands forward to the top of your mat. Step forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees and come onto your back. Left leg long, right knee bends, half happy baby. Grab the outside of your foot if you can. If you want, you can bend the left knee. And then roll the sits bones forward. Bring the arch into your low back. And then you're kicking into your hand as your hand pulls the foot down. If your head is lifted, make sure you're bringing the floor to you. Good. Release, switch sides. Left knee toward left armpit, half happy baby. Right leg strong and straight, or bend the knee. Just give it a purpose. Breathe. So we gotta open up through the hips and the groins. And really want to open up the hamstrings. One more inhale. And exhale, leg goes nice and long. A little core work, knees draw into your chest. You can grab hold of the sides of your mat for leverage with your hands. And then shoot the legs forward. And legs lift to the sky. Little tiny lift of the hips. Bring knees to chest. And legs shoot long. Lift the legs up, little lift of the tail, and let's do this. Legs lower, knees pull in, little lift, legs straight, extend, and then come on up. Good, knees bend, legs straight out, legs come up, little lift of the tail, knees draw in toward chest, and shoot them out straight, lift them up. Good, little lift of the tail, knees bend. This is like these little water wheel circle things. Legs straight forward, lift them to the sky. Knees draw in, little lift of the tailbone. And lengthen out. A couple more. Two. And one. Good. Now knees wide, big toes together, and grab the hold of the knees and draw them toward the armpits. Now take the arms inside the legs and the knees will press in toward the elbows. Elbows press out toward your knees. Flex your palms. Good, you can round your spine a little bit by lifting your tail. Extend, extend, extend. This is crow pose on your back. Breathe, lift your tail, hug the feet together, shins hug in. I'm starting to sweat. Breathe, inhale. Exhale, let it go. Good. Rock and roll up to your seat and take a straddle stretch. So legs at a letter V, heels drive down into your mat, hands next to hips, scoot your booty back, and then walk your hands forward. Good. Press back up, bring the legs together, and then come back to the top of your mat. All right, let's rinse all that out. We'll do 3 sun salutation A's. I want you to start warming up the shoulders through some push-ups, and then we'll get to a couple arm balances. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hinge at hips, fold. Walk hands forward, look ahead. Plant your hands, step or jump back, plank. Inhale, shift forward, carve tailbone toward heels. Exhale, take your push up, knees down or lifted. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift heels. Exhale, bend knees, empty the breath. Step or float, top of your mat, forward fold. Root down into your feet. Inhale, reach up, touch the sky, look up. And exhale, hinge at hips, fold. Walk hands forward, extend through your crown, and then plant the hands, step back, plank. Maybe you lift a leg this time as you come through your push-up. Lift head to arm bones away from your mat. Scapula draws down your back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift heels. Exhale, bend knees. Little steps or softly jump. Top of your mat, fold. Root down to rise up. Inhale, reach up, touch the sky. One more. Exhale, hinge at hips, fold. Walk hands forward, extend. Root the hands down, plank. Inhale, shift forward, knees down. Exhale, take your push up. Head to arm bones draw back. Scapula down your back. Downward facing dog. Good. Bring your knees down. And if you want to, you can bring a couple blankets to the top of your mat, especially if you have a fear of doing the face plant that we all have done one time in our life. And then just bring your blocks back here. Okay, so my teacher, Amy Ippoliti, calls this little nugget training, and that's basically because you kind of come into this little nugget position, hug everything to the midline. So we'll do crow, and then we'll go to firefly pose. So heels down if you can, and feet together. So my heels don't come all the way down. That's okay. My feet are together. My knees are wide. Extend your arms forward. Let your heart melt down. Take the gaze down. Now keep this little nugget position, booty down. Left arm draws under left shin. Right arm draws under right shin. Try to stay low. Don't lift your booty here. Good. Now you have to lean forward to take flight. So that's the risk that we're going to take for the reward. But if you're just getting into arm balances, claw your mat with your finger pads, hug everything into the midline, and then start your shift forward. So this might be where you stay, or if you're feeling it, keep hugging shins in, knees in, elbows in, melt your heart down. Good, and then maybe one foot comes up, maybe the other. Toes together, feet together, lift shins. And then keep lifting head to arm bones away from your mat. Draw scapula down your back. Gaze is forward. Lift toes. Good, and breathe. And release, come back down. All right, Uttanasana. Actually, we'll take gorilla. So slide hands underneath your feet, fingers face the heels. You can give your wrists a little massage with your toes. Good, and then just fold here. Lengthen through the backs of your legs. Remember, legs have to be straight to get the hamstring stretch. Okay, now firefly pose. So I don't do this unless I use blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these blocks behind me on the lowest setting and about shoulder width distance apart. Now, from here, let's come into a forward fold. Bend your knees, and then you'll slide your left arm underneath your left knee pit or your thigh and place your left hand next to your left foot just for now. And then right arm reaches under. Good. So if you don't need the blocks here, you take the hands back, bend the elbows, hug everything in. You press the pubic bone back, keep the head of the arm bones lifted, and then you have to sit back, lift one leg and then the other. Super easy, right? No, it's not. So I'm going to take my hands on blocks. And I'm even going to let my fingers come over and hang on the blocks to take some of the pressure off my wrists. And then you have to trust your blocks. So you might come into this little nugget position, right? Elbows wide and bend. Your thighs are, actually I should say your pubic bone presses back, so you widen the back of your pelvis. And then you got to put some weight down. Sit the booty back. And this could be your firefly or Titibhasana. Maybe you lengthen the legs out. Good. Head to arm bones, hug back, hug, hug, hug. Now I'm just sitting on my blocks. It's all good. And release. Let's do it again, and I'm going to try to make it a little bit more pretty for you guys. This is using core, hip flexion, knee flexion. And then we got to remember that we got to face our fears. And in this pose, you're likely more to fall backward. So if that's scary for you, you can put your blankets back. Otherwise, let's give it another go. So start in your forward fold, Uttanasana, set your blocks. Good. And then sweep your left arm underneath and your right arm underneath the calves. Bend your knees. You could try to get your shoulders really close to your knee pits. Press your pubic bone back to broaden the sits bones, and then bend your elbows. Come into these chaturanga arms. I'm actually going to take the arms a little bit wider. Good. So now I'm just balancing here. So actually taking the blocks a little bit wider helped. Pubic bone presses back, heart melts forward, head to arm bones lift away from your mat. Scapula is strong on your back, and then straighten legs. Breathe and come out of it. Good. Forward fold. Let's stretch the wrists again. Step on the palms, fingers face the heels, and let that go. Good. So you can keep working on that. Otherwise, bring your knees down to the ground on your shins. Sit between your heels. Sit tall. Take your wrists, circle them out. Good, shake the wrists out. And then we'll end in a restorative pose, or right before we part ways, just to calm the system down a little bit. So you can take your block, come to a wide-legged forward bend, and then just bring your head down. So, great way to just calm down your central nervous system. Good, and then heel toe your feet back together. And we'll just come to a seat. Let your hands rest. Palms face up or down. Spine is tall yet not rigid. Low back hugs in and up. Fold your palms together in front of your heart. Come back to your intention. And take that with you off your mat today. Namaste.